Alright guys, let's talk slot strategies and tips. Now, you've seen a lot of videos out there on YouTube with BS methods like 5 spins and things like that. And there's also just a lot of misconceptions about slot machines. So I wanted to give you guys some real tips about slots. And I guess, you know, the title's a bit deceitful because this is actually how to lose less money playing slots. Because listen guys, I don't care what anyone tells you, in the long run you're going to lose. But this is how you can have the most fun and make your money last and get the best return for your dollar. And it's, I mean, to say that you're always going to lose, I mean, that's not, you know, there's 0.5% chance that if you don't play very often and you hit something huge, yeah, you come out ahead on slots. And if you went like once every 5 years and you happen to hit a top jackpot for like 50,000, then yeah, you may come out ahead on slots in your life. Anyway, okay. First lesson is going to be payback percentages. All right. Now, different casinos have different payback percentages, different regions. But you're a lot better off in like Vegas and Atlantic City, anywhere that has competition. You're going to get a better payback percentage. That payback percentage is like, would be, for example, the slot machine you're playing can pay out 95% of everything that goes in it. So that means for every $100 that goes in it, you're going to get 95 back in the life of the machine. Now that is a huge difference on paybacks, okay? So if you're playing a dollar machine, that's more like 92%. So the scale is like 90%. This is all averages over the whole country. It's like 90% payback for pennies, 92 for dollars, 95 for high limit. And that's what you're gonna take advantage of, all right? And the biggest misconception about slot machines is that the payback is internal in the software, and that's just not true. Okay, so I'm going to show you some different payback scales and show you why this theory that you have to max bet on everything is nonsense, all right? So, look at this. Okay, so on a 3-reel slot machine that's not a bonus game, that's not pinball or Wheel of Fortune, this is the only incentive to bet max bet is if you get the top symbols. If you get the top symbols, look at that, 1,000, 2,500. So that's a 20% increase. So your risk versus reward is you would lose out on 20% if you got the top symbol, which is so rare, it's never gonna happen. But still, I can, you know, so some people will tell you to do that. And that in Las Vegas, on this machine, you should bet max bet because that's a 20% scale increase, okay? Same here, and definitely here, but this is so unlikely to happen that I don't worry about it. But I guess the caveat is that in a middle of the country casino with no competition, that's very important. Their payback percentage is going to be a lot less. So if you were betting max bet on a dollar machine in one of those, the difference in payback percentage to play a $5 credit on this at 1 credit is so much, like it could be like 5%, that it far outweighs the slim to none chance of you making that difference up, getting that. I mean, in the long run, you're so much better playing 1 credit on a $5 machine in the middle of the country. If you have the budget, it's all about budgeting. All right, but I'm gonna show you something else. And you have to pay attention to all of these, okay? Here's double diamond. There is no scale increase. It literally does not matter. Risk versus reward on this machine if you play 1 or 2. Playing 5 is no different than playing this. There's no incentive whatsoever to play max bet, so don't feel like you have to, and pay attention to your pay scale. Same with double diamond deluxe. All right, now I'll show you another one, and this is so important because these are the ones that you have to pay attention to, especially in the middle of the country. Now here in Las Vegas, here's a 3, 4, 5. 24, 48, should be 72 at 75. That's a 4% increase. Notice how it doesn't change anywhere else. That in the long run, guys, just doesn't matter. So you do not need to feel like you have to play $15 on this machine. You can play one credit, you're losing 4%. Who cares? You're really gonna tell me if you got that you'd be upset that you weren't betting 15? I mean, because you'd be out of money. It's all about budgeting and what your budget is. And if you're a dollar player like me, then you really need to be playing one credit on $5. All right, guys, here's another tip. Megabucks are fun. I play them all the time because you're trying to get that 10 million, you know, but you're giving up so much to play that, so much. The payback on a Megabucks machine to feed that jackpot is, I believe, 84%. So you're giving up so much on your line hits on Megabucks. 84% versus, you know, 92 in Vegas. They're pretty, and if you want to go for that big one like I do, it's too much fun not to do it, but just know that when you're at a casino, you don't want to just feed the Megabucks machine and only play that. Do it as a novelty and then get away from it, you know, like I do. Like, don't sit there and put all your money in Megabucks chasing that, because it's probably not going to happen, and you're giving up so much of your play. Okay, now I'm going to show you something else. Our third slot tip. Let me find one of these. All right. That's not a good example. Let's go over here. All right. You go into these like I did for a long time. You usually go up, say there's more than one, and you'll look at that jackpot, and you'll try to find the one with the biggest jackpot. You know, the biggest top jackpot. But that's not what you should be looking at. Multiple times I've done this. I'm looking at these to see which one of these are out of whack from all the other ones, where you'll find one that's real high or abnormal. Of course, I probably should have looked first before I started filming this to be able to give you an example. But here's a 4, 775, 1062. There's 5. Yeah, that's not a great example. All right, guys, here's a perfect example of that. Now, this one, you got, I mean, honestly, I would probably play this one because that's bigger, and that's bigger, all right? But on this theory we're working on, I'm looking at that. See how it's 989, and over here it's 1404? Now, if these weren't so perfectly aligned like that, I mean, I think here you actually play this one because of all those are bigger, but pay attention to your smaller ones, because this is going to hit before those hit over there, that 1404. And when you see it so out of whack like that with a 989, you'd be better off probably playing this one, but I really don't know, because I'm not a math wizard, so it may actually be beneficial to play this one when choosing. These are just, identical, but I'd probably be playing that one. They don't have great examples here for what I'm trying to do. But work with what we got. All right, the next thing I'm going to show you guys is on Wheel of Fortune. This is actually 2 different games. Now, let's say you went to a casino and they didn't have a double diamond and you wanted to play double diamond, but they had a Wheel of Fortune double diamond. All you do is play 1 credit on this machine. Do you know the payouts do not change between 1 credit and 2 credit? All you're doing with 2 credit is playing Wheel of Fortune and shooting for that big jackpot. That's all that extra $5 is. It's nothing else. So, 3 double diamonds is worth 4,000, no matter if you bet 1 or 2. The pay scales, there's not 2 pay scales on this machine. It took me a while to notice that, but yeah, so it's actually 2 different games in this machine. 2 totally different games. So playing 1 credit, you're just playing double diamond. And I've seen, I was with some friends, and one of my buddy's wives, didn't know any better. And I saw her playing that red, white, blue at Evansville. She put a $20 bill in and hit mixed sevens twice, betting 5, because nobody ever bets 5. So it's not as crazy as it sounds. I'd still never do it because y'all would crucify me if I did one credit on a Wheel of Fortune, but it's something to think about. Just know that that $5 you're betting is strictly Wheel of Fortune. Again, nobody has any great secret knowledge that's going to help you win slots. That's all nonsense. But just having the knowledge of the math and the machines and really paying attention and understanding will make your money last longer. What I like to do when I get to each new casino, I walk around the entire floor first and I find what machines they have and then look at the payouts. So I'll show you guys another example of why choosing a machine within the casino can be advantageous to you. All right, hang on. Well, again, this casino is not helping me with the examples, but here we have all these 5-line penny machines and 2-cent machines. And here's a triple lucky, all right? Now this is gonna have like a 89% payback, and you can do, let's see, 9 lines, 10 per line. So that's only $1.80, right? Okay, $1.80. But this, like I said, this has like 89% payback. Now, you can go into high limit rooms in Vegas and other places and find these 5 reels in quarters in high limit rooms. All right, and what that means is that it's in a high limit room, it's set at the high limit payback, even though it's a quarter machine. If you're ever wondering why you see a quarter machine in the high limit room, it's because you can do like 45 credits. But anyway, that thing is set to like 95% payback. These are set at 90. So if you go in there and play one of those on the quarter, and you could do 9 lines times 1 at $2.25, that's 45 cents more than this, and you're gonna get 5% better payback. I mean, that's huge. I mean, huge. So you really need to pay attention before you sit down at one of these. Go search your high limit rooms in other areas of the casino, because the quarters on these are actually usually set to pay back at least $1, and if you find them in the high limit room, they're set to pay back at high limit range. So really avoid these. And they only have one here in the high limit room, and it's a triple lucky, but it's $1. So that one obviously has much better payback. All right, guys, this is for the newer penny machines. It's just one little tip. I know we don't play those on this channel, but all right. Now they have these like all over the floor outside. I'm in the high limit room, all right? And out there you will find ones that go up to 10 cents and have 5 cents. Now, the one in the high limit room has like 3 to 5% better payback. So if you're gonna play nickels or dimes out on the floor on all those machines, check the high limit room first, because you know, play it on a nickel in here and you get 5% better payback than you're getting out there. That's a huge difference, so always pay attention to that. That's why you'll see more people in the high limit room playing 10 cent on these. Like, you can't ever find these at night. Like, I wanted to play Dragon Cash last night, and there were people in here all night. They wouldn't get off of it. Why? Because playing it on 10 cents in here as opposed to out on the floor is just such a huge difference in payback. All right, guys. All right, guys. Here's some more examples of pay tables. So 1,000 credits, which is 5,000, 12,500. So that's 20%. It's pretty standard. 2, 4, 6, 75. I'm not sure what percentage that is. Let's see, 2,000, 4,000, 6,000. That's 20%. But then look here on this Tabasco. 1,000 and 5,000. So that's like, this would be 2,000. It's like 300%. So yeah, like that one you're more inclined to play, you know, max bet, especially since it's only 10 bucks if it's like $5. Now here's different examples. Now I see people make this mistake all the time on these style machines. If you only play 1 credit, the 7s don't count at all. You have to play at least 2 credits for the 7s to land, or no, they'll land, but for them to even count, you have to play 2 credits. So that's an important thing to remember on these style machines. Don't ever play 1 credit on them. They'll have accidentally done it a few times and gotten a lot of bar hits. Yeah, I mean, these are all the same. Now this is like Wheel of Fortune. All right, and that's important to know too, guys. If you just wanted to play double jackpot, it's all first credit, 2 different games. All right. So if you're only playing 1 credit on this, you still get 25,000 for that. Nothing changes. This is the second credit is only playing the quick hit game. There's not 2 pay tables here. So remember that if you ever just want to play double jackpot or double jackpot black and white, you have that option because it's 2 different games. It really doesn't matter. Just remember that. And this is, I mean, it's also for the progressive, but that's really important to remember on these because I'm seeing this a lot in Vegas. See, that's a $5 machine, okay? A $5 machine. And your progressive is the same as it would be on a $1 machine. So you're really better off on these only playing 1 credit. I know that sounds crazy, but the incentive is not there. If you're betting $10 a spin and your progressive jackpot for 3 quick hits is only $1,040, play 1 credit on these. Just play this game because you're losing money playing $10 a spin to try to get a $1,000 jackpot. That's absurd. So definitely pay attention to these because then you can come back. I mean, you know, these are 15 a spin, and look at that progressive, 38,000, 5,000. But I think there's one over here, and you really need to pay attention to those progressives because look, this is the same one as over there. And this progressive starts at 5,000. And so, same thing, 10 to spin, you get 2 quick hits, so you would play max bet on this one. Because $5,000 jackpot, that makes sense at 10 to spin. But over there, it's only 1,000. Don't play 2 credits on that one. Alright guys. Alright guys, here's another example of one where you really don't need to worry about max bet. 36,000 times 2 is 72,000. So playing max credits on this, if you get the 3 top symbols, you would lose out on 4% of pay if you're playing 1 credit, and who cares? 4% doesn't matter because it's 1 in a trillion. You're going to get that anyway. So if that's your budget to only play 1 credit at 10 a spin, play 1 credit on this. Do not worry about having to play max bet on machines like this. Just pay attention to your pay tables because that is where the difference is. Makes no difference internally in the game if you're playing 1 or 2. Alright guys, another important thing to know is that on games like this where it's like 1 in a trillion for that to happen, if your budget has you at 5 a spin, then play 5 a spin on this. Don't worry about that because it's like the butterfly effect. You know, there's 20 different combinations in a spin per second. So the idea that you would have gotten that on that exact spin at max bet and won the progressive if you got it on 1 credit is not accurate. You pressing the 1 credit button and hitting the spin reel is the reason why you won whatever it is you won. If you'd hit max bet, you would have got something different because the millisecond it took you to do something different will give you a different spin. So the idea that that was the next hit on the slot machine, that's completely false. Like if you would have bet max, you would have won whatever. No, you wouldn't have gotten the hit at all. So you just can't think of it like that. It's more like a mental game, you know? But yeah, do not worry about that. If your budget says 1 credit, play 1 credit. You'll have fun, you'll win more because you got a bigger budget.